Have you ever launched a project and then kind of wondered, is this actually working? Is it making the difference we hoped it would? Well, today we're going to demystify monitoring and evaluation, or M&E, which is basically the essential toolkit that helps you track your progress and, actually prove your impact. Think about it like this. Every project you run is a journey. You have a destination in mind, a goal you want to reach. But here's the thing, a goal without a map, that's really just a wish. So how do you navigate? How do you check your progress and make sure you don't get completely lost along the way? That's where M&E comes in, and it's so much more than just paperwork and spreadsheets. It is your project's live map and its compass. It's what gives you the real-time data you need to make smart decisions and, well, stay on course. So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with what M&A actually is, then we'll walk through its 3 key phases, from crafting the blueprint to taking action to finally learning from it all. And we'll wrap up with the real keys to making it successful.
Okay, so let's dive right in. What is M&E? Well, the name itself kind of gives it away. It's a combination of 2 really distinct but totally connected ideas. And you really need to get both to make it work. So monitoring, that's like checking your GPS during a road trip. It's those frequent real-time check-ins to see if you're on the right road, if you're on schedule. Now, evaluation, that's different. That's like reviewing the entire journey after you've already arrived. It's a much deeper look at the big picture. Was this trip effective? What was the impact? You see? You absolutely need both to get the full story. All right, phase 1. This is all about the blueprint, and I mean that literally. Just like you wouldn't build a house without a solid plan, you can't start a project without one either. A strong foundation here makes everything that follows possible. This blueprint phase really breaks down into 4 key steps. You kick things off with a needs analysis to make sure you truly understand the problem you're trying to solve. From there, you design the project, and then you build out your theory of change, which is just your best guess for how it's all going to work. And finally, you map out clear indicators so you know how to measure success. Now, at the absolute heart of your blueprint is this thing called the theory of change. Don't let the fancy name fool you, it's just the simple logic connecting what you do to what you want to achieve. For example, if we provide tutoring, then student grades will improve because they'll have better study skills. See? It's the core story, the hypothesis you're testing. And to make all those goals actually trackable, your indicators have to be smart. This framework is a game changer. It's what takes a vague idea like let's improve health and turns it into something concrete like let's reduce hospital readmissions by 15% within the next 12 months. It just makes sure everyone on the team knows exactly what success looks like. Okay, so the blueprint is in place. Now it's time to move from planning to action. Phase 2 is where you start to gather data and turn it into real insights. This is where your M&E system really truly comes to life. Now, this phase isn't a straight line. It's more like a continuous cycle. You gather data using the right tools, you monitor it in real time to see how you're doing, and then you analyze it to figure out what's working and what isn't. Then you repeat. And your data can come from pretty much anywhere. You can use hard numbers from your performance metrics, or you can get the human side of the story through things like interviews and direct feedback. Honestly, the best M&E plans mix both quantitative and qualitative data to get a really full picture of what's happening on the ground. And remember, data analysis is not a passive activity. You have to be an active hunter looking for insights. When you analyze data as it's coming in, you can spot problems early and make those little adjustments to steer your project back on course before it's too late. It's so tempting to just look for the data that confirms what we already think is true, but it is so crucial to stay objective. So often, the most valuable lessons, the real breakthroughs, they come from the outliers, those unexpected results that totally challenge your assumptions. That's where the good stuff is. All right, we're in the home stretch. The final phase is where it all comes together. This is the payoff. It's all about reporting, learning, and turning all that data you collected into a lasting impact. So this last stage is all about creating real value from your data. You measure your progress against those milestones you set way back in the beginning. You write a clear report to share what you found. And this is the most important part. You make sure those lessons are actually applied to make future work even better. And a strong evaluation report, it tells a story. It should clearly walk you through the project's background, how the data was gathered, what you discovered, and what the ultimate impact was. It all builds towards those actionable recommendations that make the entire M&E process so worthwhile. Okay, so we've gone through the whole process. But how do you make sure your M&E really succeeds out in the real world? Well, it's not always a walk in the park, but understanding the common challenges is definitely the first step to clearing those hurdles.
These right here are some of the biggest pitfalls. So many projects suffer from not enough time or money, or from having fuzzy goals, or they fail to get key stakeholders involved from the very beginning. But maybe the biggest failure of all is when those valuable evaluation results just end up sitting on a shelf collecting dust. But here's the good news, all of these challenges are totally preventable. Success really just requires a proactive approach. It means investing in your team's skills, engaging your partners from day one, using those clear SMART indicators, and, most importantly, creating a culture where data actually drives decisions. Because at the end of the day, that's what monitoring and evaluation is all about. It's the tool that empowers you to go beyond just hoping you're making a difference. It gives you the evidence you need to tell the true, data-driven story of your project's impact, what you changed, who you helped, and how you can do it even better next time.